Hey guys, welcome to the brand new podcast, the Battle Warrior podcast, guys. And you guys are noticing here, this is the Battle Warrior Chad. What we're looking at, guys, is we're taking the old C's Get Degrees podcast, converting it to the Battle Warrior podcast, to where we're open up to all these phenomenal warriors around the world, sharing their amazing story on how they went from nothing to being successful, either through addiction, through entrepreneurship, through their faith, through everything else. So guys, if you're noticing any name changes coming in the future, or specifically name changes podcasts, the new podcast is called the Battle Warrior Podcast.
I am a warrior. I walk with the gods. I am a warrior. I will never stop. Yeah!
I do have certain notes here, but it's not like a strict action plan type of notes.
You want to ask me any questions now? I'm open for whatever you need.
Oh, hold on here, man. Let me, this is what I got on my end, just a brief summary of it. So we have the motivational programs. We have the chess lesson, and it says chess lessons to kids to stay out of trouble. So are you working in the inner city kids or just kids all around?
All over, but my main focus is the least, the last, and the lost. Just trying to level the playing field, teaching children that all moves are valid, but at the same time, all moves has consequences. And make good moves, make smart moves, and don't do the first thing that pops in your head. Your first crack at anything is never your best.
First crack.
And so don't do the first thing that pops in your head. Your first crack could be a whack, and you can't take it back. So think before you act.
Wow. I can't even write that down. I'm like, that is just perfect.
I told you I'm a rocket. I'm all about value, my brother.
That's perfectly fine, man. Let me see here. So we're at 5:37.
You know, when you first start walking, that's not your best. But
yeah.
Maybe so what I do is I teach young people to pause, to ponder, to pray before you proceed, because you can make one move in life and never recover.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, hey man, welcome to pod. We have our phenomenal guest from Atlanta, GA.
Yes, sir.
It is Orrin. You want me to just do Orrin Hudson?
That's fine. I'm Orrin Checkmate Hudson, whatever you want to do.
We have Orrin Checkmate Hudson here from Atlanta, GA.
Checkmate means you win. It's not over until you win. My name is Orrin C. Hudson. The C's for Checkmate. Checkmate means you win, and it's not over until you win.
I love this.
Get it, man. All you got to do is go around helping people win. That's all you got to do. Just help people win. Hey, move to the right and you win. Do this, you win. Go here, you win. Stop at the red light, turn right, you win. That's all you got to do. And if you help others win, you can have everything you want.
I'm just laughing. You had me cracking up in what, 3 minutes? Not even 2 minutes. You started talking about level the playing field, and then first crack at it, I started busting out laughing because I'm like, wow, this is awesome. So I like I said prior, we have a few notes here, but the big thing is obviously we're gonna go on the besomething.org, but I'm gonna build up a little bit before that. So just from your base story, it looks like you had a little rough childhood growing up.
Yeah, I went through some challenges. Come from a large family. I come from my mom. My mom had 13 children. I'm a middle child. I'm 7 of 13. And as a result, I used to wear hand-me-downs. And I used to wear my older siblings' clothes. And I remember wearing my sister's jeans. They were so thin and had so many holes in them. I could set on a dime and tell you what was heads or tails.
That's awesome. I'm the youngest, so I can't really say anything about the middle child. I used to be married to the middle child on the other end of it, but youngest is a little bit different, oldest a little bit different, but there's never a middle child in our family. So there's only 2 of us.
Got it.
But no, it's in first and foremost, man, obviously that growing up and all that, somehow you got pushed into the Air Force. So briefly, what was the direction of going into the Air Force?
I was working at Kenny Shoes in Birmingham, Alabama, and I went from Kenny Shoes to the Air Force, and then I went from the Air Force to a state trooper. And when the 7 people were shot on a robbery for $2,000, I said to myself, bad things continue to happen when concerned people fail to make boss moves. I made a boss move and started Be Someone to teach young people brains before bullets. Think it out, don't shoot it out. The only way to fight is to use your head.
Yeah, and let's go further deeper in that, because we're talking about motivational programs like chess lessons and stuff. But I want to back up to the me and you were talking about the first move is not always your best move. And
yeah, your first crack at anything is never your best. Like if I say raise your hand as high as you can, raise your hand as high as you can. That's not as high as it can.
I know.
Yeah. Right. You can go higher than that. Stand up. Let's go. Stand on the chair. So what am I teaching you? I just gave you $1 million. Your first crack at anything is never your best. Never. When I'm playing the computer say make this move. And then after a minute or two, the move, no, don't do that. The computer realized that if he make that move, it's a bad move. So the computer said, no, don't make that move. But the first crack on the computer, it would say this. And then it'll realize, I was talking to Gary Casper, he's a world champion. He was playing the IBM Deep Computer. He said he knew he had the computer beat when the computer wouldn't move right away. So he make a move, the computer move. He make a move, the computer move. And then he made a move, the computer wouldn't move. So he knew he had the computer. Because the computer got, oh shit, what's going on here? The computer didn't know, so he knew he had the computer once the computer delayed. What am I saying? Your first crack at anything is never your best.
That's insane. That's and guys, he did have me off his chair reaching up to the sky and all that stuff. So breaking it down, like your first move is always the best. And I know you got very passionate on how we were talking about that. So obviously, how do you relay that passion and stuff back to the kids with Be Someone?
Just telling them to surround yourself around people who are smarter than you. If you're the smartest person on your team, you need a new team. And allow people to step in front of you. Let me give you an example. I called this company today, and she said, Orrin, she said, do you want the picture on the bottom or on the top? I said, Miss Jones, I said, I want you to step in front of me, and you put it where you think it need to be. And when she put it, I looked at it, oh my God, nobody has ever put it that way, the way she did it, and it was brilliant. So what you have to do is you have to allow people to step in front of you who have expertise in that area. Hire people who are smarter than you and let them do what they do.
And that's going to,
you can't be on TV fighting against the expert. What? Let the expert run the show. And then it makes you brilliant. If I bring in someone who's brilliant and I let them run it, then it makes me look good. But if I try to override them, I'm not going to override them.
Robert Kiyosaki wrote a book. I think it says C students own the business and the A students work for the C students or something like that. And I'm just paraphrasing it. And he's talking exactly what you're talking about. It's like, go build a community, bring the smart people in, or vice versa, network. I'm gonna use the term network in the community with people that are more brilliant than you. And the thing that he was kind of digging deep is, he goes, the students that would get in, if you get a 4.0, man, I'm going to apologize how I worded this, but this is just how I remember the book here. But he was saying that the C students were in college working and they were studying. He goes, so their time was more of hustling, building something, gathering groups, whatever it is. And he's like the A students. And like I said,
all they did was in the book. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And he was saying that they accepted more risks, more tolerance to risk just because of the moving parts in their world.
Got it.
And that's what brought me up with that, where you're like surround yourself with people way more smarter than you. And also it pushes you too. So pushes makes you a better person. So but yeah, no, like I said, teaching chess lessons to keep kids out of trouble. So how are we designing this, or vice versa? How are we setting this up? So like, are you just going to like a community center and bring all the kids in, or is it just?
Well, I do. I go from city to city. I've been in several cities, been on TV a lot of times. So I've been anywhere from India to Dubai to the Philippines to Canada. I've been in like 40 cities in the United States. So I travel from city to city, and I usually travel with a life-size chessboard. Go big or go home. And I teach people that the king and the queen got married. They got married by the bishop. They ran off on a night and they went to the castle and the pawns of the children. So I'm teaching them that the black and white is the same. Don't play the blame game, play to win. You have everything you need to win the game. You have your mind, you have your ability, you have your talents, and you have time. And so the way to win in chess is use all your resources. The opposite of wealth is not poor. The opposite of wealth is mismanagement of resources. Poor is just a reflection of how you manage your resources. What I'm teaching people is how to manage their resources. You could be Evander Holyfield had $400 million gone. So having the resources is not enough. You got to manage the resources.
Then it goes on to this one thing where people in, at least around my circles, in the past, they were like, hey, I want to make $1 million because that's going to give me all the goals and dreams. And
what now?
They would all say, hey, I want to make $1 million because I can go buy the cars, the toys, the trucks, all that stuff.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And someone told me straight out, they said, if you can't manage $30,000, how are you going to manage $1 million?
Right. So, and a lot of people can't manage the little stuff, because I tell people, it's the little things that can cause your downfall. I mean, you got to be faithful over a few things, and then you'll be ruler over many. So you got to be able to manage what you have and manage the resources. I was talking to a guy, he's in the Super Bowl. I'm in the Super Bowl. He's paid $70,000. I paid zero. So mismanagement of resources. That $70,000 for 3 hours is gone. I'm in there for free. So you got to be able to figure out how to navigate the complexities of life and don't lose all your resources. You paying $5 for this and $5 for that. Next thing you know, you broke. When you could have spent $10 and bought it for a month, but you spending a little time, $1 at a time, and you lose out. I was talking to a friend yesterday. She's paying $2,000 a month rent. And I'm like, you could buy a house for that. But she don't know what she don't know. And I said, I know somebody who's got a house just like this for $800 a month, and you paying $2,000 a month. Come on now. So you gotta be wise with what you have. Now you said, well, my sister, we had the same amount of money, but my sister's a millionaire now and I'm broke. Well, your sister managed her money correctly and you didn't. And that had the same amount of money, but she bought a house and you rent.
Yeah, and then that $2,000 actually contest to exactly what I'm going to be doing in 3 months. Not $2,000 the rent part, but in the building I'm going to be in, they range from obviously 800 on the lowest to $2,000 on the highest. And people are like, oh my God, that's so rich. It's like, that's such expensive rent or whatever. I'm like, I'm like, I'm in the smallest room I could possibly be in the cheapest rent that I could possibly be in. I'm only in there because I'm closer to the network of people that I'm going to be around. And to me, I'm not going to pay $1,600 a month for rent, even though it'd be cool to be like, Ric Flair, whatever, living the high life a little bit, but that's just temporary feeling.
Right.
Versus, go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
It's the mismanagement of resources that will determine your success in life. People have Mike Tyson, $400 million gone. And my thing is, if you have $400 million and you lose $200 million, you're supposed to call a timeout. This is a 20-second timeout. This is a full timeout. At some point, you got to say, wait a minute. We got to pause. We got to pivot. We got to do something different. Because if you lost $200 million, it's time to call a timeout.
obviously next, it's a little bit rough here. I'm trying to get back on pace here, but so the question that I have here is, and we could have just went over it and I could have not paid attention, but leveling the playing field, obviously bringing everyone up to win. How are we directing that, or vice versa? Is it all part of that program that we're talking about with chess? So it's like the knowledge, the base, the action, all that stuff to level people up, or is there a different program for that?
Well, no, we just basically, we level the program because we're teaching them that all moves are valid. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you come from. It don't matter what your social economic status is. If you make the right move, you get the right result. All dreams are valid. All moves are valid. My teaching is that we're going to level the playing field by teaching people that you are more than enough. See, people say you are enough. That's not correct. You are more than enough, because you got people with no arms can do more than I can. So a guy the other day with no arms can type 40-something words with his toes. Now that's more than I can type with my hands. So you're more than enough. So I'm teaching people how to use what they have, where they are. Don't play the blame game, play to win. Your mind's a pearl. You can change the world. Checkmate.
I'm going to end it right there, because that is magic. Where can everyone find you?
www.besomeone.org. www.besomeone.org. I came up with Be Someone because Abraham Lincoln, his mother, her last words on the planet, Abraham Lincoln, was be someone. And even though Abraham Lincoln had failed many, many times running for public office, Abraham Lincoln took those two words, be someone, all the way to the White House. My assignment in life is to empower our young people to be someone. Get your head up, get your pants up, get your grades up, and the big one, never give up.
Exactly. Thank you, man. It's a little bit short, like I said, a little bit shorter, but I want to capture that magic. In that 20 minutes that we did, there's so much magic in there, and I'm not going to drag it out.
Love you, my brother.
So no problem, man. Thank you very much. Enjoy it. And I'm going to let you roll. God bless. Have a great day, man.
Peace and blessings, my brother.
All right. Thank you very much.